I view him as a franchise quarterback it would be great again to follow the blueprint of draft him, have the quarterback room set up to where he can kind of get his bearings, get settled in year one, and then take off in year two. He has what you want. Okay, he has the mental horsepower. He has plenty of arm strength. He has plenty of mobility. He has toughness galore. Listen, there are people now who throw out those arguments of, well, you know what? Look at what his record was at Colorado. He wasn't able to put that entire team on his back. He wasn't able to lift them to the kind of heights that maybe his bravado says that he did. Kid had no offensive line his first year. I did multiple games. He was getting his head beat in. They had no running game. He is deadly accurate, extremely smart. He can push the ball down the field, and he's uniquely equipped to be able to deal with all the other responsibilities that a franchise quarterback is going to have to deal with.
All right, Louis Riddick, I see that you want to play defense attorney for Shedeur Sanders. Honestly, why am I not surprised that an ESPN employee is publicly defending Shedeur Sanders? This is Sports Guy talking that you guys are watching and listening to. I am Dustin Tran, your host, as I am here today to talk about Louis Riddick telling the truth about the skill level of Shedeur Sanders. Despite leading Colorado to 9 wins this past season, there are still a lot of Shedeur Sanders doubters out there. However, Louis Riddick is definitely not a Shedeur Sanders doubter. Before I say anything else, though, I want to present you guys with a topic question. So, here it is. Will Shedeur Sanders end up becoming a draft bust? I am going to say no to this question. Shedeur Sanders is the best quarterback in this draft class. There really isn't any elite passer in this draft class whatsoever. Cam Ward is not elite. Quinn Ewers is not elite. Jaxson Dart has elite talent, but he is so raw at the position that he will probably not grow into becoming an elite quarterback. Jalen Milroe is definitely not an elite quarterback, and you can name me any other quarterback in this draft class, and they are not elite. I'm not saying that Shedeur Sanders is an elite quarterback, but he is better than all of these quarterbacks in this draft class, mainly because of experience. Shedeur Sanders has played college football for 4 seasons. Shedeur Sanders has had experience playing a lot of football, and he had a lot of control at the line of scrimmage. I think one thing that is extremely underrated about Shedeur Sanders is his ability to read defenses pre-snap. Pat Shurmur, the offensive coordinator for Colorado, gave Shedeur Sanders a lot of those responsibilities at the line of scrimmage. Colorado was running a pro-style offense in the sense that they were giving Shedeur Sanders all kinds of checks in the huddle. They allowed Shedeur Sanders to audible out of place, and they allowed Shedeur Sanders to read defenses like how an NFL quarterback would. Colorado won 9 games because of Shedeur Sanders' arm. A lot of people are going to tell you that Colorado won 9 games because of the schedule they had. However, those Colorado haters do not have the benefit of the doubt to use that excuse, because they probably predicted Colorado to win less than 6 games heading into the season. Colorado overachieved and won 9 games, a stat many people thought would not be realistic. I thought Shedeur Sanders did a lot of good things at Colorado. I'm not going to say Shedeur Sanders was a generational talent, but I am going to say that Shedeur Sanders was definitely an above average quarterback. For the people that want to discredit what Shedeur Sanders accomplished at Colorado, I want you guys to name me a quarterback that is entering this draft class that could have done what Shedeur Sanders did. The answer to that question would be none. I know some people are going to counter to me, oh, what about Cam Ward? He had a phenomenal season at Miami. If you put Cam Ward in Colorado, they would have made the college football playoff, but that would be a false narrative. If Cam Ward had started at Colorado, he would have practically died behind the offensive line. He would have gotten beat up, mainly because of the fact that Cam Ward holds onto the ball too long and that he has trouble making quick decisions at the line of scrimmage. One thing that I will be critical about Shedeur Sanders, though, is his ability to throw people under the bus. When things go right, he wants to take credit all the time, and when things go wrong, he wants to blame teammates around him. That's one thing I do not appreciate about Shedeur Sanders. I wish Shedeur Sanders would mature more in that department. I also want to show you guys this clip of Shedeur Sanders clapping back at his haters. I found his comments to be rather interesting. Roll the film.
Whatever franchise draft me, they're going to be extremely happy they made that decision. It was 2 questions during the combine that was the most asked questions. One, how is it going to be when Pop's not there no more? And the second one was, what type of player are they getting whenever they draft me? First one, me and Pops had a good run, but all good things must come to an end. And the thing is, it's different if you didn't know it was going to come to an end at one day and it just happened. You know, that's more like traumatic or something, but you already mentally was ready for that day. Secondly, what's the team going to get if they draft me? Well, one, the experience is there. Like, let's just get that out. The experience is there for what these teams are trying to do. Take a team that's not so good and change it and have instant success. That's all I've been doing for the past years of my life since I've been playing. We always wasn't in the best situation team-wise, but we always made it work and got the most out of it. So that's the thing. Like, I done it repeatedly over and over. And it's just like, whatever franchise draft me, they're going to be extremely happy they made that decision because of the experience. And I know what it's going to take for us to be able to have immediate wins. That's what I'm able to guarantee.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Although the video Shedeur Sanders made was rather cringeworthy, it's not exactly like Shedeur Sanders was wrong with what he said. Every time Shedeur Sanders has played out there on the football field, he has made his football team better. Shedeur Sanders ended up being a major reason why Colorado turned around their football program. I want to see Shedeur Sanders go to a team with a good offensive line, and I want to see Shedeur Sanders do a better job getting rid of the football at a quicker pace. I do think Shedeur Sanders has a slower release. I do wish that his pocket presence looked less like Caleb Williams and more like Tom Brady. Obviously, I'm not saying Shedeur Sanders is the next Tom Brady, but I would prefer Shedeur Sanders took notes from some of the elite pocket passers and learn how to get rid of the football rather quickly. That way he can avoid getting a lot of hits, and if he can avoid a lot of hits, he can have a long, sustainable career. Shedeur Sanders, to me, is the quarterback one in this draft class, though, because of experience. Shedeur Sanders isn't a perfect prospect, but he's not a terrible prospect either. I liked what Louis Riddick had to say during his interview on the Rich Eisen show. I thought most of what he said was rather accurate. Anybody that watched the tape at Colorado recognized that their offensive line was quite frankly not good at all. They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't really protect the quarterback. Shedeur Sanders did what he could do. Shedeur Sanders had to throw the ball 40 to 45 times a game. Despite that, Shedeur Sanders was still able to complete over 70% of his passes. I'm not saying Shedeur Sanders is going to be this amazing top 5 quarterback where he can carry any franchise at any given time, but if you put Shedeur Sanders in the right situation, this guy could blossom into a Baker Mayfield type of quarterback. I'm not saying Shedeur Sanders is elite, but I'm saying Shedeur Sanders can definitely play at a high level in the National Football League. I do wish Shedeur Sanders would mature up, but you know what? Baker Mayfield had immature behavior heading into the NFL. That didn't stop Baker Mayfield from becoming a good tier 2 quarterback. He definitely brings swagger to the table. I do think it borders on arrogance at times, but hey, if you can play at a high level, you can do all the trash talking you want. It kind of reminds me of how people used to view Cam Newton, because he used to trash talk a lot, but he could back it up with his play at a high level. I'm talking about prime Cam Newton. Let's see if Shedeur Sanders does that. I'm not saying Shedeur Sanders is Cam Newton. I don't think he has the athleticism of Cam Newton, but Shedeur Sanders is a solid quarterback in his own right. I do think that Shedeur Sanders needs to humble down, but hey, maybe it's just a young kid being immature. Maybe the maturity will come at the NFL level. Ultimately, though, Louis Riddick is right about his assessment on Shedeur Sanders. It was objective. He didn't go fanboy mode, but he was still able to critique his game while being able to praise him at a high level. So that is why Shedeur Sanders will not end up becoming a draft bust, as he is my quarterback one in the 2025 NFL draft class. Remember, go ahead and subscribe to Sports Guy Talking, like the video, and please comment down below. If you guys do that, I may shout you guys out in my Instagram story every Monday. That will be for the @DustinNashTran Instagram account. Make sure to follow me on Instagram @DustinNashTran, and that's Sports Guy Talking. Also, go follow me on Twitter @DustinNashTran. Again, go ahead and do those things that I just told you guys to go do. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the content that was just produced. Peace out. I hope you enjoyed that video. Want more of Sports Guy Talking, the home of great sports content? Make sure you click that subscribe button to get the latest from Sports Guy Talking. Go ahead and like the video, comment down below, check the description box on the video in order to follow my Instagram and Twitter. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from the YouTube channel, Sports Guy Talking.